All right. So during this training session, it's not going to be very complicated. I'm just going to use the cell phone and the app on the cell phone to show you what needs to be done for basically setting up the machines after they've been fixed to the wall. So I'm going to send very briefly the link to Alex since he's having trouble to connect, and I'm going to start right after that. Okay, so I'm now going to share my cell phone screen, so you should be able to see me and the devices in the back, but the cell phone screen should probably be the main one. So you will be seeing that right away. Just give me. All right, so now my cell phone screen is being shared. So that's what you should actually be seeing. Feel free to interrupt whenever you have a question. So William, you type in the chat, and Tatiana just mute off and ask me for the question. Alex is going to join very soon. So we are starting. The first thing that I'm going to show you is the cabling. So this is something that is obviously well described in the manual, but just for your information, here, where you have most of the wiring, this is the primary MSDW, what we call the chain head. Here, these 4 wires, they are for the chain tail. Here, that's me, it's for my own RFID sensor for the inhibition, but in your case, it could be something different. And there are also a couple of jumpers, one here, one there, and one there. So these 2 jumpers are for the serial interface communication, and this one is for the inhibition. But again, these are various scenarios that might change depending on what you are using as inhibition. Alex managed to join, so has Wesley. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have you on the call. We have just started, not even 2 minutes ago. So,
okay, thank you. Good morning.
As I mentioned to Tatiana and William, this session is being recorded. So at the end of the training, WebEx, so Cisco is going to generate the clip, the video clip, and tomorrow I will send it to you so you can download it and have access to it whenever you want for training refresh or training new stuff. Anyways, I am always available, as you know, for this. So I showed the wiring very quickly, but the wiring is something easily accessible on the manuals. So you know exactly what needs to be done, no problem. And I trust you 100% for that. When it comes to the settings, the most important is to have an Android phone. The only brand that we recommend not to use is Xiaomi. We do have a problem with Xiaomi cell phones. There is an issue with the Bluetooth standard that we haven't figured out. But Samsung, Motorola, Sony, no problem at all. All of them, they work. Me personally here, I have a Samsung. So what you need to do, first, you need to create an account with me. So some of you already have. Alex has. I think William has also. For the ones who haven't done it yet, no problem. It's easy to do, just to create an account. I approve it myself, so you have access with the credentials you've chosen. So you need to download a specific app. And here I'm going to show you the one that you need to download, because Alex just mentioned that there was a small mistake with one of your colleagues, nothing major. Basically, we have different products, and the logo of the app is not so different from a product to the other. So if you check the Play Store, basically, if you type in CEIA, you are going to see at least two different apps. So, sorry. You're going to see the app OpenGate and the app FMD. The app that you need to download is FMD. OpenGate is for a product which is completely different. So the one you need is CEIA FMD, which stands for ferromagnetic detector. Once you have downloaded it, basically, first, what the app is going to ask you is to type in your own credentials. So that's what I'm going to do right away. I type my own credentials. Okay. And now I'm the one who doesn't remember its credentials. Sorry about that. That's it. Here we go. So that's what happens once your credentials are the correct one you typed in. Basically, you see that list paired CEIA devices and discovered CEIA devices. What I personally, if you have already used the app and you have a series of detectors that are already paired, I recommend you to do two things when you go on a new installation. You press the three dots and you press on unpair all CEIA devices. So you empty the list. You start from fresh, so there is no connection issues. Second, you press again the three dots on the top corner, and you press on clear all cached passwords. Are you sure you want to clear all cached passwords and labels? Yes, I'm sure. What you have just done by following these two steps is basically clearing the buffer of the app. There will, like this, you cannot have any conflict with previous installations, other units. You will only see the units that are currently connected. So that's it. Once you have done that and you are in the presence of your detectors, obviously you need to plug in the detectors. So that's what I'm going to do right away. Okay, so detectors are turning on, everything good. We leave them just 1 minute to finish the configuration. Configuration is finished when they stop blinking. So now that's it. The detectors are turned on. They are currently fresh out of the box. They are factory configuration. So once, just lost my WebEx on the phone, no problem. Okay. So again, all right. So when you are there, the first thing you're going to do is discover CEIA devices. So you press on it. That's it. Both devices have been discovered. In my case, 0007 is the primary one, is the chain head, and 0006 is the chain tail. The problem is that right now they are fresh out of the box. So there is no, in the setting, there is no one which is currently being set as chain tail and the other one as chain head. Both of them are operating standalone, and you can show as right now, this one is triggering an alarm, the other one is not. So when you want to create a chain, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to press the 3 dots on the top corner on the right, and you're going to press on chain configuration. So now you do setup chain. Sorry, something I forgot. Obviously, I have discovered the devices, but I need to pair my phone to both devices. This is something that I forgot to do. So it's important to do it. I press on the first one. Cheva device bond in progress. Pairing is being done. All right. First device is paired. Now I press on the second. All right. Pairing request in progress. So now it hasn't done it. It didn't manage to do it because probably I was too far away. I'm going to do it again. That's it. Now it's done it. Both devices are paired. Now that both devices are paired to my phone, I can set up the chain. So I press the 3 dots, chain configuration. Now here, the only thing that I need to do is to make sure of the order of the devices. As you remember, I told you that 007 is the one that has been connected to the chain head output, and 006, the one connected to the chain tail output. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to press on the four lines on the right to drag 0007 on top of the list. So I do it. Here we go. Like this, the order is correct. 07 is chain head primary, 06 is chain tail secondary. So now I press setup chain. Enter the device password. The password for all MSDW is the same. It's 6 zeros, 00000. So I do that right away. 0000000. Okay. Enter the password for 06, 0000000. Okay. Now the device are being paired using the cell phone. So make sure you stay quite close. Okay. So chain setup has been completed. The device is going to be, the cell phone is going to refresh devices. And now I'm going to stop sharing. And as you can see now, basically both units are stable, the same, they give the same signal. So I remove inhibition, that's it. See, they give exactly the same signal. They are set as one chain. So now that we've done that, both units are running as one single system. We can start playing with the settings. So right now you can see behind me that there is a very high sensitivity at 100. They keep triggering because below me, I have reproduction department with all you know, the forklift and all the metal detectors being manufactured, they are creating the interference. So we are now going to see how to get rid of that by playing with the sensitivity. Okay? So you get back to your CEIA FMD app. Everything has been refreshed. Everything is fine. And now you see that the name of the devices has changed. 07 has the suffix CH000 and 06 has CT001. So remember one thing, once the chain has been set, the only detector you need to touch is CH. CT, you can actually forget about it because it takes its parameters from CH. So the only one I'm going to play with is CH. So I press on CH, I connect.
Hey, Nicholas, what's the password here?
0000, same, the same password, still the same, all zeros. Okay, connected. So the first screen that you see, the first display you have, contains, let's say, the features that are the most used when dealing with the MSDW. So the sensitivity, the alarm volume, the lower sensor coefficient, the warning threshold, the tone type, and the optical type. Then you have the locate button and the alarm reset button. So these are usually the most used, but we are going to see in every single case all the buttons. So if you press on programming device menu, the first menu that you see is detection. When you press on detection, the very first parameter that you check is actually sensitivity. 100 is obviously way too important for any hospital. The best installations that I was actually involved with, we managed to put 85 as a maximum for places where they were requiring to find some scissors. The environment was allowing to do it. And also an important fact was that all lady staff were actually wearing sport bras, not standard bra, because when it comes to the bra, a lot of bras have the metallic wire, you know, under the cup. And basically this tends to trigger a huge alarm because, and obviously the larger the bra, the larger the alarm. But basically 85 is your maximum target. But trust me, in a lot of installations, it's more going to be around 55, 60, 65, not much more. But this is something that you decide once you are on site and you actually see the behavior of the detectors. So that's the first one, sensitivity. The second one, DS, detection speed. Detection speed is with regard to the capability of the detector to detect according to how fast people or objects are going through. So if you put a very high detection speed, you are going to be very, very sensitive to every single interference. This is why detection speed standard value is 2, and I personally recommend to leave it at 2. Not drop it down, not increase it. Third one is lower speed, LS. Lower speed is what I usually call, from a technical standpoint, the integrator. Basically, it allows, this parameter allows to send back quicker the signal to its baseline. You know, when you have a lot of noise and a lot of alarms, basically the LS tends to filter it very quickly. So standard value is 3. I personally recommend you to put LS at 5. 5 is a good value, which is a value which is a good compromise with setting back to baseline quickly, without losing detection capability, because obviously, just like any filter, if you filter too much the signal, you are going to start missing threats, missing detection. So basically, LS5 is what I recommend. LC, lower sensor coefficient. Basically, this one, it comes from the security world in the prisons. In the MRI world, hospitals, it's not necessary. It's a parameter that allows you to drop down the sensitivity only on the last sensors. Because as you may already know, we have 3 sets of sensors: top, medium, bottom. The LC parameter allows you to drop down the sensitivity only on the bottom sensor. It's something which is convenient when you have people like me wearing city shoes with a metal shank inside the shoe. The problem with that is that you actually remove uniformity of detection. The bottom sensor is no longer as sensitive as the middle and the top sensor. So I recommend to leave LC at 0, no matter the case. Warning threshold. Basically, standard value is set at 50. What does the warning threshold do? Warning threshold is something that is going to give you, as the name says, a warning of ferromagnetic detection before an actual alarm. Instead of having the lights red, they turn yellow. So I'm going to try to do something. You see, yellow, and eventually red. That's it. So it's a feature which is there because our competition, they have it. Is it useful? A lot of customers tell us, no, we don't need that. For us, it's green or red. If you want to do, so when it's like that at 50, it means that the warning starts when the signal goes at 50% from the alarm threshold. If you put it at 100, basically it's going to stay green until eventually you have the alarm. That's it. Now, the 3 last parameters, they are important ones for you to know. They are the auto-learn parameters. Basically, the auto-learn is a feature that we designed in order to deal with some specific interferences such as elevators. When you have an elevator which is 10, 12 meters away from the door on which you have the MSDW installed, the elevator might trigger some alarms because it's a huge ferromagnetic mass in movement quite often. The detectors, they are going to sense the elevator. You can deal with the elevator using this specific feature by learning the movement of the elevator and basically filtering it out of the signal. It's something that works very, very well, and CEIA is the only company that does something like that. So the auto-learn, the way it works is very easy. You have 3 parameters. The first one, LEA, learn, apply, yes. It's when you have already made a filter. If you put it to yes, the filter is being applied. If you put it to no, no filter is being applied. LET, learn time, that's the time you are going to learn the signal from the interference. We can learn it up to 4 minutes, 240 seconds. When you have something repetitive like an elevator, it is actually, the more you do it, the more cycle of elevator movement to do up, down, up, down, up, down, the better the filter. So that's why we put until 4 minutes to have something which is good enough. I'm just going to show you on 30 seconds what it does. So I drop the learn time to 30 seconds. 27, that's exactly the same. No worries with that. Then how do I start the auto? William is asking, can I place a detector at the door and another in a nearby hallway and they will still communicate? So the rule, William, when it comes to that, in terms of communication, as long as they can still pair to each other, and they usually can if you use the MSDX box and you have done it with the serial interface communication, yes. The problem is in terms of detection performance. We recommend not to put more than 1.4 meters, 1.3 meters to have good performance. 1.8 is the maximum. If you place a detector, on the door, and the second one is on the hallway, and the hallway is actually 3 meters wide, you're not going to have good performances. You need to respect the distance. But in the end, the actual location doesn't make a lot of difference as long as you respect the distance between the two detectors. Have I answered your question, William? Okay, perfect. So, the auto-learn, as I mentioned, to start the auto-learn, you press on the last one, LE, learn recording. You put it from off to on. Once you do that, as you can see on my right, you see blue lights turning on the CH detector. Once all the lights have turned blue, basically it means that the auto-learn is over. So we still have about 10 seconds to go through. Now about 5 seconds. All lights are blue. It means that the auto-learn is being completed right now. And the moment it's over, all the lights blue, the blue lights, they turn off. You see, they have turned off. If you check again, if I go again in detection now that I've refreshed the application, look what happens. LEA turned from no to yes, and LE turned from on to off. So now the filter has been created and it's currently being applied. Again, very, very useful when you have to deal with interferences due to the presence of elevators. Something that works terribly well. Let me tell you, I've done something in Australia last week. We divided by 6 the signal from an elevator, which was 12 meters away. So when you have this kind of configuration, these kind of problems, and you actually identify an elevator being the problem, don't hesitate to use it. So next menu, signaling. So signaling is all about the alarm systems, whether they are the audio alarm or the visual alarm. So the first parameters are about the audio system, the audio alarm system. So the first one, alarm volume, allows you to basically increase or decrease the volume. Alarm tone allows you to change the tone of the alarm. So, right now it's doing beep. It can be something different. Warning volume, when you have a warning, when the warning threshold is set to 50, you can actually have some specific volume just for the warning. Same thing for the warning tone. Then minimum volume, MV. What is this one? Remember something, basically here with the password 00000, that's your password as tech people. You do not give this password to an end user. For an end user, they only have 00001, and they can actually play with the volume, but they can never decrease the volume below the value set for MV. If you have a customer that tells you, okay, my people, I want them to be able to adjust the volume, okay, no problem. Then the person tells you, but I do not want them to be able to go below 2 or 3 to turn off the volume. I want them to be able to play with it, but they cannot turn it off. You actually set a value of minimum volume. Standard value is 1, which is a very low volume alarm, but still a beep can be heard. Alarm duration is about how long the audio beep is on. And zone message duration, basically ZMD, it's for how long the message of the zone is going to be displayed when you are using the optical type fixed plus zone. And we will see that right after that. So LA, local alarm, always put yes. Always put yes, because if you put no, big problem in the sense that there's an alarm, but the devices, they don't say anything. Why they don't say anything? Because the devices are being told that they are not supposed to display the alarm themselves. The alarm is being sent to a basically a third-party device, a Bluetooth headset or something like this. In the case of MRI, never do that. Always leave local alarm to yes. Tone type. So tone type, there are different types of tone type. There is the type fixed. So basically the alarm is always giving beep. As long as there is the alarm status, it gives basically beep. It keeps ringing all the time. When you use proportional, in this case, what happens is that you have the volume of the alarm is changing according to the size of the threat or the proximity of the threat. So it's probably something that you won't be able to hear through WebEx, but I'm going to test something. It basically modifies the tone depending on how big the threat is or how close the threat is. So that's proportional. And the last one, which is the one that I do recommend you to use, pinpoint. Pinpoint is the best alarm system we have in terms of visual alarm and audio alarm, for the simple reason that basically it's going to beep only when the threat has passed the thresholds. In the sense that you can walk by with something and maybe have some lights, like an elevator, which is the area, or a bed being passing by the detectors, but not going through. When you use pinpoint, only things that truly go through, that create a huge peak of detection, are going to trigger an alarm. So again, tone type, I do recommend you to put it on pinpoint for every single installation. OT, optical type. So we have several options. So the first one, full height. So in this case, no matter where you do it, everything turns on. All the lights, they turn on. If you use proportional, in this case, the lights turn more. The closer you get, the more lights you get. You see? And the next one, which is full height, zone, which is the standard one and the one that I do recommend you to use. Zone is going to show you where the threat is being located. So top, middle, bottom. So the zone optical type is the one which is used in, I would say, 99% of installations. That's why it is actually the default value. The last one available is full height plus zone. So this one, it's quite clear what it does. The alarm first, you have all the lights, then you have only the lights of the zone. all lights, then only the lights of the zone. And same thing. This is where the zone message duration is going to be important, because if you want the zone to be displayed longer, you are going to play with ZMD. But the one that I do recommend is just zone, so you know right away where the threat is located. That's actually quite convenient in the sense that if you deal with a stretcher, an MRI, an MR conditional stretcher, an MR conditional bed, basically MR conditional beds, patient beds, are conditional, yes, but that's the point. They are not MR safe. It means that, number one, they do contain metal, usually a lot of aluminum. Number two, there is one component which is always made of ferromagnetic material, the bearings of the wheels, for the simple reason that when it comes to the wheels, the bearings need to be made of something which is extremely hard and robust. And this is why usually it's made of steel, not aluminum. I've never seen any bearings made of aluminum. So that's why when you deal with an MR conditional bed and you pass through the MSDW, there is going to be an alarm located at the bottom. So something that will look like that. That's okay. That's okay, as long as you explain to the physician and the technologist, it's going to be okay. The last ones, test signaling, self-check level complete, remote unit warning no, output relay off. All of this, you don't need to play with it because they are actually remote troubleshooting diagnosis parameters, except for output relay. So output relay, which is currently turned off, if you put it to on, to normally open or normally close, it's very simple. There is an output relay in each of the devices that allow you to control, let's say, an external lamp, an external buzzer in case of alarm. Let's say that the technologist, the MRI technologist, is located in the room, but that does not have direct visual on the actual door. Somebody gets in with something, you could actually give an alarm right at the table, even if they don't see the door. So I know it's kind of, let's say, peculiar. It's not something that will happen quite often, but that's a possibility. But still, this one, no need to bother too much with it, because most of your installations are not going to be like that. Next one, BT, Bluetooth. Here, this menu, you don't need to do anything with it because it's a menu to control Bluetooth headsets, but this is an option which actually is never purchased by anyone, because it would mean that somebody has a Bluetooth headset to hear for the alarm status, when actually you want the detector to alarm locally, so the people going through actually understand that they are alarming. Next one, memory. So when it comes to memory, actually load selected program, store current program, rename selected program, erase selected program, all of these 4 buttons, they are useless for the simple reason that when it comes to an MSDW, there is one single program and it is locked. So you cannot rename it, you cannot store it, you cannot erase it. It's the way it is. The important button for you to know is factory config. Basically, if you go somewhere and you end up with an installation which is a little messy, the chain is not, you cannot manage to set up the chain correctly. It's difficult. Communication is not going well. Okay, when you have something like this, no panic, just start from fresh. So you connect to each of the device and you press on factory config. By pressing on the factory config button, you will actually set all the parameters back to factory. So the way I shipped it to you. So even, you created, someone has created a mess before you with the change setup, with wrong tags, wrong CT, wrong CH, no worries. We can always go back to original configuration. That's this one in the memory menu, factory config. This is something which is available on both devices. So right now I'm connected on the CH, but if I connect on the CT, as you can see, the CT has much less because the CT doesn't allow you to modify parameters. But if I press on programming device menu and I press on memory, the factory config button is still there. So you can set back the CT to factory config the same way. If you check on signaling, as you can see, there is nothing because all the parameters are taken from the CH. So now I go back on the CH. All right. We've seen memory. Now we go to counters. So basically counters give you the counts that are available, the alarm counts and the warning counts. So these are also available at standard user level. And I will show you afterwards what it is to connect with standard user password, which is 00001. So here, as you can see, there are 3 counts. The first one is the alarm count. Second one is the warning count. And the last one is the working time. You can reset with the app both the alarm count and the warning count, but you cannot reset the working time because the working time is incremental. It can only increase. If I check again, now you see alarm count 0, warning count 0, but the working time is still the same, 1154 hours. Access. Access is if you want to set a new password and to change user parameters. If a customer tells you, they can play with the volume, they can play with the alarm tone, but they cannot touch the sensitivity. Okay, no problem. So we remove sensitivity, we add alarm tone. We leave the alarm count and the count reset. Okay. We also put in the warning count and the warning count reset. No problem. Okay. And we also give them the opportunity to change a password. No problem. This is something that can be done. Here, you actually select the parameters that a simple user with the password 00001 is going to be able to access to. So now I disconnect and I check in as 1. I am no longer at super user level. I am at standard user level. So as you can see, the only thing there is signaling alarm volume, alarm tone, and counters with alarm count reset and warning count reset. This is because I actually gave access to these parameters. The default values that we give access to usually are user parameters, so sensitivity, alarm volume, and alarm count and count reset. We don't even give access to the warning count and the warning count reset because it tends to be useless. So if I connect again as a simple user, an end user, this is technically the screen that should appear for most of your installations. The sensitivity and the alarm volume. These are the two parameters that most users like to have. They don't do a lot of damage by changing these because they don't have access to the auto learn, they don't have access to the tone type, they don't have access to the optical type. They only have access to the sensitivity threshold and the alarm volume. So this is something which is, we don't hesitate to give access to that because that's actually quite easy to get back from it in the case they are lost. Now I finish with the last submenu, but which is one of the most important. It's the submenu configuration. So in the submenu configuration, you're going to have some information that are very important. The first one is the operating mode. This is where you actually can change the mode from chain head to chain tail or standalone. You're going to tell me, why should we use that since we actually have the setup chain configuration available with the app? You would be absolutely right. It is technically not necessary to use that. Honestly, that's not very, very useful, but it is there just in one case. For a reason or the other, you want to make sure that if something is going wrong in terms of detection, and something doesn't feel right, you want to be able to pass from chain head to standalone or chain tail in the case you have done wrong connections without having to do the whole configuration again. So here, that's what you can change, but that's not the most important in the end. The device address and next device address, these are actually the MAC addresses of both devices. That's what allows to create a chain. So device address is the MAC address of the chain head MSDW. Next device address is the MAC address of the chain tail MSDW that has been inserted in the chain head thanks to the setup configuration from the phone. In the end, the most important one in there is serial interface configuration. You have two options, maintenance, Evo. So here, what is it important for? Only you just need to know one thing. If you change that, you actually change the way the devices are communicating between themselves. Right now, which is standard configuration out of factory, the serial interface configuration is set on maintenance. Maintenance means that the RS-232 port on the MSDX box allows me to connect to each of them. And they are communicating between them via Bluetooth. The problem with Bluetooth communication is that it's not the most stable communication in the world. So if you happen to be in an hospital that has a lot of electronics, which is quite often the case, and you see that the detectors, they keep on, losing communication. So when they lose communication, they basically do like this. When losing communication, that's what happens. You have the chain tail blinking blue here. Right now, the machine is not working in the sense that if I go with that in there, the chain head is working, but not the chain tail. So the chain is being corrupted. So here, if I connect again, obviously I did it by changing the configuration from chain head to standalone. But I don't want to, basically, this is something that I want to avoid in the future. I want to make sure that we're not going to have these kind of issues with communication lost between the two. We basically do it with hardwire through the MSDX box. So I showed you before. I showed you these two jumpers, this one here and this one here. When you put in these jumpers, basically what happens is that you are presetting the serial interface communication for the pairing between the two units. And the way to actually do that, the settings, you change from maintenance to Evo. You do it on the chain head. So right now, if you check, I have actually lost the connection because both are blinking blue, both of them. What you do, you've changed it on chain head, you're going to change it also on the chain tail. Connect, programming device menu, configuration. From maintenance, you go to Evo. And look what happens. Immediately, absolutely right away, I get back my communication because now the communication is being done through the MSDX. This is going to be totally up to you, the kind of settings you want to do. You decide of what you want to do. Personally, I do like to set the serial interface configuration in this way, so the communication happens by wire and not by Bluetooth. It's something which is actually more stable in my opinion, because you never know what's going to happen in an hospital. They could simply be installing a TV for announcement, you know, maybe 5 meters away from the MSDW, or you know, an IT modem, you know, an internet modem, you know, whatever that could create some waves that could interfere with the Bluetooth communication. So again, that's something it's totally up to you how to set it. You decide. You know that it's there. You know it's there, and everything is in the manual at this level. So
yes. So Nicholas,
tell me.
Here always we use cable.
Perfect.
We don't always.
So you always use you put in the two jumpers in the MSDX, and then you set the SIC parameter to Evo. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Because yeah, the SIC parameter factory value, default value is not Evo, it's maintenance. Because one thing actually that happens, and I need to mention it, it's important. If you put SIC, if you switch from maintenance to Evo, the two RS-232 port inside the MSDX box, they become useless. Because now the serial interface is being occupied by the communication of the two devices, when normally they are dedicated to the maintenance, to the troubleshooting with the computer using, you know, Alex, I've sent you our MDscope troubleshooting software. But this is why it's always extremely important, if you go on an MSDW installation, always bring with you an Android phone with the CEIA FMD app. It will always help you at least to set things straight. Afterwards, if things are going bad and you call me, we do some remote support with TeamViewer with the computer, this is something we can think about it. But setting up the device, Bluetooth, Android phone is more than enough. Is there anything that you've missed, anything based upon previous experience that went wrong? you would like me to cover again, in case I missed it. Don't be shy. There are no wrong questions. Only bad teacher. So don't be shy. I know that a couple of installations have been challenging lately. If you want to discuss about that, about what happened, tell me what happened. I can actually give you some ideas of what I would do to resolve the situation. Don't hesitate to let me know. Again, don't be shy. There are no wrong questions, no bad questions.
Okay.
Speaking of which, Alex, the 10 kits are being made. Just wanted to confirm that. No worries. They will be done in times.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
Oh, yeah. So this again, thank you for your time. This
No
presentation
problem.
will be very helpful.
No
We
problem.
used to training other guys because those kits, those 20 kits, will be studied in different parts of the country, and we need more people trained to do it. So
Yeah.
thank you very much again for this training.
No problem at all. My pleasure. And if necessary, something that comes up, a question, that comes afterward, you send me an email. I reply. No worries about it. You end up on an installation and things are going sideways. You don't know what's going on. Don't hesitate to make videos. Send them to me. I can always help. We don't have such a bad time difference for me to end up having trouble with regard to being able to communicate with you or remotely connecting with you is something that is always it's challenging in some places. When it comes to Brazil, most of the country is not too far time difference wise from where we are. So because right now I believe it's almost 2 p.m. for you, right? It's 1:30, 1:20 p.m., something like this.
Really? Yes, really is for hours different time, but right now we are in the same time zone. I'm in Africa, Angola.
Yeah. So you see, basically, yeah. For you
Yes.
it's 1:20 p.m. For me it's 5:20 p.m. So
Yes, 5:20.
it's
The
not
same
that's
the
not
same time together.
that's not late. That's not late. That's all good. Okay. So look, this session has been recorded. I will be sending you the link to download the video clip. You will have it tomorrow. And yeah, again, everything comes up, don't hesitate to let me know. Don't be shy. Don't worry about it. No problem at all. Even if the mistake is downloading the wrong app, that's not a big mistake. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, all the time. Don't worry.
Okay, so thank you, Nicholas. Thank you for your time. Thank you
No
again
problem.
for this such great tournament. And I think we will use this tournament to train the guys again. We will translate it, and so I hope we not disturb you again with tournament. And
That's all right.
I
That's all
wish you a
right.
great year. 2024 will be
Thank
a great
you.
to everybody to
Absolutely. Yeah,
us.
it's true. Happy New Year to everyone. Absolutely.
Okay,
We're still in
thank
January.
you.
Thank you very much. Have a very good day and hopefully see you soon.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.